Hi and welcome to Task 2. This presentation was created by Michael Jones and it is due 17th of September 2017. Before we get started, this presentation is in response to the stimulus set out in Task 2, and it will cover the following: learning theories for the digital age. We'll define the connectivism learning theory. Why is connectivism important in education today? How does this theory work for the Army in an adult learning environment? What is a MOOC? Using MOOC and Slack to connect soldiers across Australia. And then we'll finally finish up with exploring Task 3 and my intent for my design of my digital resource. Please note from here, the connectivism theory will be called Connect Theory. As you can see, Driscoll 2000 defines learning as a persisting change in human performance or performance potential, which must come about as a result of the learner's experience and interaction with the world. Page 11. This second part of this quote is interesting as it identifies the learning comes from the learner's experiences, which I believe is true. For example, in the Army, we rely on networking with our peers so we can improve our practices within our job roles and situations. Furthermore, there are many learning theories out there, for example, behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism, that are most often utilized for the creation of instructional resources and materials. However, these were developed in a time when learning was not impacted through technology. Siemens 2005. The Connect theory, however, and the theory that I will be most focusing on, is relatively new on the market. As Siemens 2005 explained, it is a learning theory for the digital age, and shortly you'll see a short video of Siemens demonstrating the importance of the Connect theory and education. This theory is best suited to many learning environments within the Army. Utilizing guiding principles from the constructivism theory will ensure learning resources contain meaningful knowledge, are authentic, and instructors can take on the role as a facilitator more when using for technology such as MOOC or Slack. This will allow for controlled forums, blogs, discussions through, for example, Slack, that I'll later talk about. Newman, ETL, 1997. For this task, I will focus on learning theories for the digital age, in particular, the Connect theory within the adult education sector. In today's modern society of technology, we have access to an abundance of resources and learning theories that provide explanations to help educators understand how people learn. But which ones really apply to today's global and digitized world? As Brown 2002 states, today's digital kids think of information and communications technology, or commonly known as ICT, as something similar to oxygen. They expect it, it's what they breathe, and it's how they live. So why not capitalize on something people use in everyday life, such as social media, discussions, forums, and apps, to connect and share their knowledge and experiences on the same topic areas? In the 21st century Army, we are moving towards using more ICT in the field and to connect instantly with other soldiers. For example, smartphones and iPads are now used in the field to track patients, navigate, store data, and provide instant recall of information and provide seamless process of logistics of stores. As explained earlier, this video you're about to watch further demonstrates the importance of networking and connecting learning through powerful media and platforms we see and use today, such as YouTube, blogs, discussions, Slack, or other online platforms such as Moodle or MOOCs. This video runs for about 1:38. However, it's important while watching the video to picture yourself working through a course online and having questions about the course, such as what about this? Or where do you go to places to learn and acquire new knowledge? These are all important questions.
How do you learn about new stuff? Where are your go-to places? Your knowledge networks, are they online? Do you look at things like YouTube? Do you share videos on YouTube? And who are your go-to peeps? Do you use Facebook to connect and discuss with people? Perhaps you even have a blog and share your thinking. Where do you ask those questions? The how do I? And other questions. Things like, what about? Do you use Twitter as a knowledge network to share and to learn? But what about your students? Who do they connect with online? What does their personal learning environment look like? Do they use things like Snapchat? Perhaps they use Wikipedia. Do they share and contribute to that? How do they share their learning? Do they have blogs? Who or where do they learn from? What about our younger students, our little kindergarten students? Where do they find experts? Connectivism is a digital theory. Actually, it's a learning theory for the digital age. It's important so that people can connect and gain perspectives from around the world.
There you have it. I believe this video was important to show you because it highlights that even though the Connect theory is relatively new, it further demonstrates through connecting people you can have a large impact on learning new knowledge or collaborating. As indicated, experience has long been considered the best teacher of knowledge, and since we cannot experience everything, other people's experiences and hence other people become the surrogate for knowledge. Senham and Dameron, 2012, page 38. Alright, now let's look closely at defining the Connect learning theory. Alright, let's define the Connect theory. As Simmons 2006 suggested, the Connect theory is a conceptual framework which views learning as a network phenomenon influenced by technology and socialization. I have a little picture that I'll show you soon that demonstrates how being connected can work for learning. For now, the starting point for the connectism theory is the individual and knowledge comprised of a network which feeds into the organizations, such as the army, and then feed back out to a learner, thus providing a continuous learning cycle. Secondly, the connectivism theory gives more autonomy to the learners in a way they choose to learn, Simmons 2005. These are both essential for army, as this allows learners to remain current in their field through the connections they have formed, and they can choose the way they learn. This type of learning is supported by the adult learning principles. Alright, let's look at how the Connect theory is important in education today. This video you're about to watch by Stephen Downes demonstrates how knowledge is about organizing connected identities with similar ideas and concepts for lifelong learning. But before we watch, it's important to note that learning communities such as army, schools, or universities can be defined as the clustering of similar areas of interest that allows for interaction, sharing, dialoguing, and thinking together. Simmons 2005, page 2. This is important for lifelong learners, especially for army personnel, as in our careers we move around and undertake different job roles in different contexts, so being connected will enhance individuals' learning and skills within their job role. Let's watch the video, and straight after let's look at how the connected network can work.
Connectivism is the idea that knowledge is the organization of connections between connected entities in a network. And learning is the creation, adjustment, or deletion of those connections in order to shape the network to match the input that it receives.
Alright, this image by Sai 2011 highlights how the Connect theory is like an underground rail system where you have access to various forms of platforms and use of media that bring people together to share common learning objectives and interests. In the Army, there are many of us that perform the same job. In fact, in my corps, there are 106 of us, all across Australia in different locations working the same role but in different contexts. The key difference in each location is the job requirement is slightly different. So now we know that Connect theory is a network and is influenced by technology. So the question is, how can I bring 106 soldiers together to learn new skills, share experiences, and explore new concepts? This is where the connectism principles can be applied. Alright, let's look at the 8 principles Sims 2005 suggested and how these relate to my adult education setting. Right, there we have it on your screen. The principles of connectism theory that Sims 2006 suggested. I won't go through all of them, but these principles can be applied easily to the Army context. For example, for principle number 2, learning is a process of connecting, happens and occurs in Army to a degree when people get together for mandatory promotion courses. However, this will be greatly enhanced when employing technologies such as MOOC, Moodle, or Slack, okay, which we'll explore later on in this presentation. Furthermore, these principles set a foundation for structuring your learning and connecting people to learning and share experiences, further offering teachers a principled way of teaching that recognizes the digital age that our students live in. Alright, so how does the Connect theory work in with my digital resource design? As we know, the Connect theory is a theoretical approach to connect people with interests and goals that feeds into organizations, then feed back out to a learner, providing a continuous learning cycle. Alright, so how do we do this and connect it to the soldiers? One example, and the one I'll explore further, is through connected, massive, online open courses, or commonly known as MOOCs, or advanced CMOOCs. This technology-based platform is perfect for the Army as the target audience is so dispersed across Australia and have the same job roles within different contexts, as previously discussed. Combining both the theoretical approach of the Connect theory and CMOOCs will bring Army learners together to learn structured content, but at the same time network them to share ideas and opinions on work-related problems, concepts, and share work-life experiences. Alright, so now let's talk about CMOOCs and how they can assist with connecting soldiers together. Now that I have introduced the term CMOOC, we will have a quick look at the platform before we talk about how I'm going to integrate the connectism theory and CMOOC into my digital resource design. It stands, as previously discussed, Connected Massive Open Online Course, and the Oxford Dictionaries Online has defined a MOOC as a course of study made available over the internet without charge to a very large number of people. Anyone who decides to take a MOOC simply logs on to the website and signs up. This definition alone appeals to me as it highlights its ability to connect a very large number of people for a course of study. This means for Army it is possible to connect a large core, for example, to a course and facilitate learning towards a goal with targeted outcomes that are realistic for the learner's context. Very shortly, you will view a video that is 1 minute 46 on MOOCs. This video demonstrates what a MOOC is and how a MOOC connects very large groups together for a common purpose. Let's watch the video.
The Massive Open Online Course is a response to the challenges faced by organizations and distributed disciplines in a time of information overload. It used to be that when you wanted to know about something, you could do a few things. You could ask someone, you could buy a book, you could try to figure it out for yourself, or you could call a school. If that school offered the course and the thing you were trying to figure out, you could go there and take it. You could get access to information about a topic. An instructor had combed through journals and books to pull the information together from a library. You might even find others who are also interested in the same things that you are. The MOOC is built for a world where information is everywhere, where a social network obsessed with the same thing that you are is a click away, a digital world. A world where an internet connection gives you access to a staggering amount of information. This video will introduce you to how a massive open online course is one way of learning in a networked world. A MOOC is a course, it's open, it's participatory, it's distributed, and it supports lifelong networked learning. In one sense, a massive open online course is just that. It's a course. It has facilitators and course materials. It has a start and an end date. It has participants. But a MOOC is not a school. It's not just an online course. It's a way to connect and collaborate while developing digital skills. It's a way of engaging in the learning process that engages what it means to be a student. It is, maybe most importantly, an event around which people who care about a topic can get together and work and talk about it in a structured way.
Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed it. As the video explained, MOOCs are built with the people in mind. Information is everywhere and only a click away in a digital world. Most importantly, MOOCs support lifelong learning, and it's a way to connect and collaborate and engage in the learning process. This is very relevant for the design of digital resources for the Army. For example, by designing a CMOOC that is structured and facilitated by an instructor, it will give the learners ownership of their learning, but also allow contextualized content to be shared by all. Web Anywhere 2017. Further to this, by adding an online collaborative tool such as Slack that can be accessed via your smartphone, allows for instant feedback on the go. Think, we are in a digital age, so why not use what is relevant to your target audience and technology they are already using? Carleen 2013. I will be exploring Slack a little more later. Just to cement the idea and demonstrate how prevalent the use of MOOCs are today, by 2014, over 600 MOOCs were available in European institutions, Steffens, Bananen and DeLaGaro 2015. Furthermore, the concept of MOOCs has been adopted by leading campus-based universities. One example is at Stanford, which offered an online course called Introduction to Artificial Intelligence, in which a staggering 160,000 students from more than 190 countries enrolled. Steffens, Bananen and DeLaGaro. Alright, now let's look at an example of a MOOC. Alright, let's look at an example. This MOOC was created none other than by Stephen Downes, 2017, on connectivism and learning. Enjoy! Okay, let's just have a look at an example of a MOOC. Before we get started, it's worth to note there is a few different types of platforms or technologies out there or software that offer different ways to connect with MOOCs. This is just one way. The one we're going to look at today is actually from Stephen Downes, and it's on connectivism and learning. Okay, so we're very fortunate to have that. Okay, but it's fairly simple. If you haven't signed in or registered before, alright, you sign in. It's pretty simple stuff, but you can select all your courses through here. Okay, but if you haven't, you just pre-enroll, get a welcome, continue. Go through all your details, fill it all out, send registration as per normal terms and conditions. Yep, then you just sign in obviously, and you can read a little bit about the course here. Who's it by? Professor Stephen Downes, and he specialises in fields of online learning. Once you've done that, once you're enrolled, you can start engaging. It's really that simple and an effective. Really that simple and an effective way to connect. This is just one example of a MOOC that is available in many languages and in many countries. For Task 3, in particular, a CMOOC will be designed specifically for the educational corps within the Army on their initial job role as an instructional designer. It will demonstrate how it can potentially connect learners from all across Australia instantly, and how learners can engage, share experiences, and gain knowledge regarding their job roles. By incorporating connectivism and having a structured CMOOC is just one way to connect. This will encourage regular interaction and feedback from the learners, and also using an external technology like Slack will allow the facilitator to guide the learning by adding targeted questions, discussions, and real-time scenarios, so my call can relate, share, and engage as required. Okay, let's talk about Slack. As the title suggests, a new way to generate discussion, set up rooms, and receive feedback instantly. The fact that Slack exists and is such an essential tool, it has really helped us in scaling and still feeling connected in one way or another across remote offices and remote teams, such as the Army or dispersed soldiers across Australia. Maruko ND. Some of the Slack's advantages, it simplifies communication, everyone can see it, it helps everyone find the answers they need, the group is connected, people can see everything, all resources, all questions, everything that's promulgated by the participants, which is a great and advantageous tool. So this video just quickly highlights the power of Slack and just some of its functions.
So 6 months ago, I get an email from Stuart Butterfield. He wants to talk about making a video for his new thing, Slack. It would change the way teams communicate. The truth is, I was spending all my time doing email instead of making stuff, and something had to change. So yeah, we tried Slack.
Slack lets us do all our communication in one place. It's like combining multiple forms of messaging and file sharing into one app.
You make channels in Slack, which is perfect for discussing specific topics in groups.
Slack integrates with Dropbox, which is amazing because we use Dropbox for everything.
Slack supports lots of other integrations too, everything from Asana, Google Hangouts, Jira, Papertrail.
I like that Slack always keeps my place. I can switch from my laptop to my mobile, and I never miss a thing.
Is this your card?
Yes.
And Adam loves it. Slack really has changed the way his team communicates, and all this open, efficient communication keeps his company happy, which makes Adam happy too.
This animation just further demonstrates some of the Slack features and how it's an essential tool for business or any organization such as Army for just connecting people through various resources, bringing them together to share ideas, learn new concepts, and exploring lifelong experiences, therefore enhancing the lifelong learning process. Slack helps you set up channels, for example, for each specific scenario that may occur. We can chat with colleagues or peers from my call. You can ask questions, pose questions, or the facilitator can ask targeted questions to generate discussion on a particular specific topic around structured content. We can upload photos and documents, resources. People create new resources. Happens all the time in Army. We can simply upload them, share them, and there we have it. It's standardized across our core. So there's just a couple simple features that the power of Slack can bring. Alright, let's touch briefly on Task 3 and how soldiers will engage with the content. This will be done in a scaffolding approach by moving through the content progressively using MOOC in the first instance for a structured format, then in conjunction with Slack. For example, soldiers will engage with existing and new content in the CMOOC that the facilitators or educators provide on a particular topic. Soldiers will connect and share experiences and resources about the content in the MOOC and discuss through Slack. Soldiers will then connect through Slack and engage with authentic scenarios. Soldiers will share resources and experiences instantly by uploading documents, photos, etc., and respond to discussions through the rooms in Slack instantaneously, therefore providing feedback to their connected peers. There we have it. In summary, we live in a digital connected world, and connectivism is a learning theory for a digital age that is bound by 8 principles that offers teachers, instructors a principled way of teaching that recognizes the digital age that our learners live in. Therefore, by applying the theoretical approach of the connectivism theory and designing a digital learning resource such as MOOC in conjunction with Slack, will allow learners to connect and share their experiences and resources, such as the one I'm planning to design for Task 3 for my peers within the Army, the educational call. Lastly, over the next couple of slides are the references I used for this Task 2. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.